Hey, so I have a great story for you. And through this story, I'm going to teach you a few things that I learned along the way. So basically, a couple weeks ago, I had to go shoot a commercial for Tad Jenkins Chevrolet. They're going to be part of the rodeo parade, and I wanted to cover that. So I'm all ready to go. I'm super pumped up. I get all my equipment ready and schedule everything out with everybody, make sure that managers can meet with me and the people I need to interview can be there. And I show up, I start setting up my equipment, and guess what? My lavalier mic didn't have the cord that it needed to plug into the receiver, so there's no way I was going to be able to use it to capture any audio. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, this totally sucks. And there's not really time that I can come back and do this. So I'm thinking, okay, I got to do this. What can I do? And I remembered, you know what? My phone can record, and my devices record all of that. I'm going to do this. And I just tell my client, you know what? I am amazing at fixing this stuff in post-production because I will be able to use Audition. Not completely knowing how I would, but I knew that I would do it. And at least I would have them convinced that it wouldn't be too bad. So I capture my audio with my phone, and then I just know that I'm going to come home and I've got some stuff to learn about using Audition. I like to use Audition because I use Premiere and After Effects, and the great thing about these products is that they have their round-trip editing, so you can create these dynamic links, and they all talk to each other, so once you save in one program, it automatically updates in the other program. So I came home, I turned on my Linda tutorials, and I watched, and I practiced, and I practiced, and I practiced. So let me give you a peek of what the final part ended up turning out like, so you can see what we're going to work up to.
I think a lot of people are so passionate about their brand because that's what they grew up with. They remember growing up and going on their first date in their Chevy truck. They remember going with their dad in the Corvette.
Awesome, right? Okay, so let me give you a listen for what it sounded like straight out of the camera.
I think
it
a
is
lot of
bad.
people are so passionate about their brand because that's what they grew up with. They remember
a lot of
growing
noise.
up
He
and
sounds
going
like
on
he's
their
in a
first date
tank.
in their Chevy truck. They remember going with their dad in the
So
Corvette.
here it is with my phone.
I think a lot
The
of
audio
people
capture
are so
from my phone
passionate about
laid over
their
it. It's
brand
much better than
because
what
that's
my
what they
camera
grew up
captured.
with.
But still, there's some noise that we
growing
have
up
to
and going on their
remove,
first
and
date in their Chevy
we can
truck. They
definitely sweeten
remember
his voice a
going
little.
with their dad in the
So what we
Corvette.
want to do is you're going to go from Premiere. This is the dynamic link that I was talking about that makes it so easy. You're going to right click and choose Open in Adobe Audition, and that will create that dynamic link between Audition and Premiere. So whatever you do in Audition, Command Save, and it will update in Premiere. That's a spectral view. We want to look at the waveform view. Spectral view is a really cool thing. You can use brushes to remove specific sounds and things like that, but that's for another time. Let's focus on removing this noise. So what you want to do is you take your title cursor, you select the area where there's a gap between what he is saying. Usually if you leave a little bit of room in the beginning, you can capture it perfectly. You're going to say that go to Effects, Capture Noise Point, and you're going to say, okay, there's other ways to do this, but I like this way because it's so custom. If you want to do it more quickly, the shortcut to capture that noise point is Command P. So once you've captured that noise point, you'll say okay, and then what you want to do is double click on the waveform, and that will highlight the entire waveform. And then you're going to go back up to Effects, down to Noise Reduction and Restoration, and Noise Reduction Process. And this way, if you need to make refinements here, you can. You'll press Apply and see it took all that noise away. One thing to keep in mind is that it also takes away a little bit of his voice as well, so you kind of have to make those adjustments yourself.
I think a lot of people
So let's
are
go
so
in now and
passionate
actually
about their
sweeten
brand
his voice
because
here. We
that's
can
what they
take a
grew up
listen.
with.
It's sounding better without that noise, but we can do more. So the first thing I like to do is go down to Special and choose Vocal Enhancer. And you can let it know if it's a male voice, a female voice, or if it's music. And I'm not really sure what it does. It just makes it sound nicer. So I like to do this. I choose male, and then I have a little listen. And then you just exit out of it. And when you're ready to apply those, you can press Apply in the lower left corner that's in that box. The next thing I like to do is use a de-esser because our S's just sound ugly. And you'll make your own individual adjustments within this dialog box, and you can choose what you think is working the best according to your own audio. It's different for, it's way different for every piece. So you go ahead and you can do that, and that helps. And then once you're done with that, you can take another listen, press Command S. It will ask you to save your effects that you applied, and you can say OK, or you can go down and press Apply. And once you save that, you go back over to Premiere, you're good to go. It's going to sound just like how you had it in Audition. So that's a wrap. Good thing I've got those dynamic links in Adobe and that I can actually look like I know what I'm doing, even though I'm trying to record professional type video with my cell phone or other device. So let me know if that works for you, if you find any other tips, and come back soon.